How was your day today? Hello, everyone. We are Why Is It So? And welcome to our very first full-length podcast episode. Before we dive into the main content, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for your love and support for Why Is It So? Throughout this past time. As of now, Why Is It So? Is over 3 months old and has found a solid footing within the podcasting community in Vietnam. I am incredibly thankful for this and hope we can continue this journey together for a very long time. As you might know, Why Is It So? Is a series of mini podcasts that often begin with the question, why? Developed based on the method of first principles thinking, a form of thinking that delves into the root causes of a problem. Simply put, I ask, why? Questions to deeply understand an event or issue, thereby better exploring its formation process and proposing solutions. We often focus on the how to do something, and forget that why also plays a crucial role. When we answer why, problems can be resolved much more thoroughly. Returning to today's main topic, after exploring the why behind why we take out our anger on others, a topic I raised in a previous mini podcast, this full-length episode will delve deeper into the how and share what I've learned to, in some way, control detrimental emotions. Please note, this podcast addresses general detrimental emotions that affect everyone. For severe negative emotions, which are clinical conditions, you should seek professional help from specialists like doctors or psychologists for timely treatment. So, why do we need to control our emotions? The first time my dad got a smartphone, he asked me how to connect to Wi-Fi, how to make a call, and how to create a Facebook account. It was a summer afternoon. I had just returned from school, sweating, having argued with a friend in class and been scolded by my teachers. I was hot, irritated, and explained how to do things to my dad again and again, but he still didn't get it. At that moment, all my frustrations boiled over. I snapped, "Why don't you understand? Don't ask me anymore, I don't know." I stormed off to my room, leaving him sitting there in silence. I wonder how heartbroken he felt then. When I was a tiny tot, just babbling, knowing nothing, he patiently guided my every step, taught me every word, spoon-fed me every meal. Yet, now I couldn't find enough patience to do the same for the very person who dedicated so much time to teaching me. We take out our anger on others, specifically, on subordinates or family members, because it allows us to release negative emotions with few consequences. Psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud pointed this out with the displacement effect, redirecting anger onto someone who seems closer and less powerful than ourselves. We suppress our dissatisfaction, not daring to talk back to our superiors because it would cause too many problems. But with family, we assume that our outbursts will be forgiven. But do you know who is left to deal with those negative emotions in the end? You and your loved ones. It's clear we can find hundreds of videos and lectures on topics like how to avoid negative thoughts or how to overcome negative emotions. But ultimately, we often get stuck in a rut of anger and lash out at others. I admit, I am someone who gets angry very easily. But recently, a quote helped me restrain myself and gradually change. According to Rev Nika, author of the book, Why All This Talking to Yourself? Emotions are not a problem to be solved, but a signal to be interpreted. Firstly, why aren't emotions a problem to be solved? According to psychologist Wahab, emotions are different attitudes and reactions people have when encountering various situations. This means that different situations will evoke different emotions in different people. And something you might not know is that the brain registers emotions even before conscious thought. Emotions appear before thoughts, if only for a very brief moment. Emotions not only influence, but also immediately drive behavioral responses. This means emotions are inherent, automatic, and instinctive. People have different reactions and emotions to different events. So, emotion itself isn't the problem. The asterisk reason that emotion appears is the problem. However, to this day, expressing emotions is often considered a weakness to be overcome and suppressed. From this comes emotional suppression and avoidance, trying to push away emotions we don't like. This manifests in many forms: excessive shopping, overworking, seeking stimulants like alcohol to numb feelings. Yet the emotions we hate remain. It's like pressing down on a spring. The longer and harder you press, the more force it builds. Eventually, you can no longer hold it down, and when you let go, the spring snaps back with immense power. Secondly, why are emotions a signal? Whether negative or positive, every emotion carries meaning. Behind every emotion is a message. If positive emotions are signals confirming you're on the right track, then negative emotions are signals requiring action. What action do we need to take to understand and clarify? According to Nick Wignall, an American clinical psychologist and host of the Nick Wignall podcast, we can use the following steps to regulate our emotions. 1. Hit the pause button. The moment you feel even a slight discomfort inside, just pause for a moment. 2. Breathe. To regain balance, turn to your breath. Focus your attention on your breathing. Taking several deep breaths will bring peace back to your body and mind. It helps redirect your attention away from useless thoughts and allows your emotions to dissipate or weaken. 3. Emotional labeling. I must admit, countless times when I felt sad, discouraged, or frustrated, I'd tell myself, "Why are you so weak? Don't be so sensitive." I even used this method to comfort others when they were upset. "Why are you sad? Cheer up, everything will be fine." But was everything really fine? Not at all. I was just avoiding my true emotions. Emotional labeling is naming the emotion you just experienced, without judging whether it's good or bad, and then beginning to ask, why? Where does this emotion come from? What issue is it related to? For example, it's raining heavily, I'm stuck in traffic, the red light is counting down, and then a few people brazenly cut into my lane right in front of me. I can't control the negative thoughts and I'm about to swear out loud. But when my brows start to furrow, I realize something is stirring inside me. I'll follow the steps. Pause, breathe, then think. I'm feeling angry, but not angry at the lane cutters. I'm angry because I'm stuck in traffic in the rain, the food I bought will get cold, and my family will have to wait for me. I pull out my phone and call home to tell everyone I'll be late and the food might be cold. Mom says, "It's okay, just reheat it when you get home. But remember to drive carefully. The thunder and lightning are really bad." Immediately after, I process and soothe myself by naming the emotion, regulating it step by step, and organizing the initial emotions in my brain, helping other parts of my mind settle down. Let's try a slight variation of the situation. What if, by chance, the lane cutter heard my curses and also got angry, leading to an exchange of words? What if they continued to act aggressively, making me even more annoyed? I'd be furious but unable to do anything. When I got home, my mom would ask me something, but I wouldn't say a word. The food I bought would be cold, and I'd angrily refuse to eat. My dad would scold me, saying I'd never amount to anything. I'd grow even more resentful, and a tense argument would erupt. Who is left to deal with the negative emotions in the end? It's me and my family. We cannot choose what happens to us, but we can choose our attitude in responding to it. Taking responsibility for our emotions means we won't blame events, circumstances, or anyone else. They might be the causes of your emotions, but you are the one who decides how to react. If you feel uncomfortable because of other people's actions, it's you allowing others to impact your emotions. Patience and endurance are two different concepts, just as suppressing emotions and controlling emotions are different. When you get home, leave the negativity at the doorstep. But what about when you're out? Those frustrations and exhaustion are still there, they linger, slowly accumulating, and one day they will explode. If after leaving home, you are still tormented by negativity, that is emotional suppression. That is holding back your dissatisfactions, trying to force them down so they don't burst out. Emotional management, however, means emotions are still expressed outwardly, but to a certain extent and within reasonable limits. This means when you get home, you can talk about those negative experiences, not dump them on others. Patience is a lifelong lesson, one that perhaps both you and I will never fully master. But understanding the issue step by step will help us change ourselves significantly. Developing the habit of adjusting emotions from negative to stable or positive takes time and practice. So, don't worry too much if you've tried many ways and still haven't managed to control your emotions. Our parents are not psychologists, they have their own problems. By understanding how to control emotions, you can share that knowledge with them, or at the very least, when you become a parent yourself, you can respond differently to bring the best to your children. Our generation of young people is the generation that heals together. I believe we can do it. If you haven't noticed, each mini podcast of Why Is It So? Is a puzzle piece on our TikTok channel, and this time, the puzzle's theme is family. Therefore, the content of this full-length podcast focuses primarily on family and intentionally omits emotions related to other issues. Additionally, this is personal experience, so it may suit some but not others. Only you truly understand yourself. Take a deep breath. Have you answered the question that appeared at the beginning of this podcast yet? How was your day today?